Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Cone, and the NBA is back, and opening night was kind of close to perfect. Like, we had maybe what's going to go down as the game of the year to open the season with Thunder versus Rockets, and then Warriors-Lakers was kind of back and forth. The Warriors took a big lead, but the Lakers made a run. Luka Doncic masterclass before the Warriors shut the door and really showcased why they can be this great team. There is so much to take away and talk about from these first two games, so I'm going to go ahead and just get right into it. And the reason I'm in a hotel is because I was at Thunder Rockets in person. There was no way I was going to miss my favorite team raise their first banner. It was amazing to be at a ring night. I hope you all get to experience it someday when the Thunder dynasty, hopefully that happens, ends. But yeah, it was incredible. And then the basketball, shout out to the Rockets. They played like crazy in this game, especially at the beginning. Sengun had maybe the best game of his career when you consider the competition and the circumstance. It probably was. 39, 11, and 7 with 2 steals. He was unstoppable. Hit 5 threes. I'm pretty sure he had 21 all of last season. Amen looked great. Kevin Durant looked unstoppable at times. This defense, the jumbo lineup, it worked. It got the Thunder in some trouble. There was a lot that was promising here, but the Thunder still got the job done. No Jalen Williams, and that required a lot of guys to step up in his absence, and quite a few people did. Shai, MVP, I believe he's going to win another one this season, really start to knock on the door of a lot of people being like, hey, this is the best basketball player on the planet. 35, 5, 5, 2 steals, 3 blocks, 5 stocks, 35, 5, and 5. Could not shoot the 3 ball tonight, 1 of 9 from 3. But the big thing was he had, I believe, 9 points going to the fourth quarter, finished with 35. He just put on an ISO masterclass. The Rockets spent the first half and a majority of this game even laid into it, throwing doubles at him, traps. Like anytime Shai had the ball, especially when he got a screen, like they did not care about who was setting the screen. They were just trying to swarm Shai all they could. And early on, it forced a lot of turnovers. Like I'm pretty sure all 3 of his turnovers, though, came in the first quarter. Like Shai did such a good job as a playmaker, as a decision maker, and kind of just cooked anybody in front of him down the stretch of this game. He willed the Thunder to a victory, ultimately hitting the huge mid-range jumper that sent the game to overtime in the first place. He was the guy that got Kevin Durant to bite on the pump fake so he could go to the free throw line and win this one there. He just did everything. I mean, there's a reason why he's the best scorer on the planet. There's a reason why he's the MVP. It's stuff like this. Even though it's not always pretty for the Thunder because it's a defensive team and these 2 defensive juggernauts going back and forth, it was ugly at times, but the best players in the world can win when it's ugly, and Shai is capable of doing that. And even still, I mean, he finished just under 47%, going 1 of 9 from 3. That shows you how dominant he was within the arc. Chet Holmgren, I've been saying, is going to have an all-NBA season, 28, 7, and 2 in this game, had, I think, 18 on perfect shooting to start off the night, slowed down a little bit towards the end, but he was just busting the zone. Like, he just kept getting the ball right there in the middle of the zone, and it was mid-range jumper after mid-range jumper. He had a turnaround fadeaway over KD that was super slick. There were multiple times he should have had some threes, but his foot was like just barely on the line. We might have to cut the shooter size down a little bit, Chet. But this is the Chet we saw at the beginning of last season that I believe we're going to see fully throughout this year now, because a lot of people this offseason thought Chet was overpaid because sure, he's this amazing defender, but what does his offense look like? And that's just because a lot of people watched the playoffs when Chet was still coming back and getting right after literally breaking his hip earlier on in the season. Before the hip injury, Chet was putting up 19 and 8 on like 50, 40, 80 something splits. He looked unstoppable. The aggression was not quite the same. The efficiency wasn't quite the same after he got back. This is the version of Chet that we saw to begin last season. If this is the version of Chet the Thunder get all year, nobody's beating Oklahoma City. It's just not happening. And until J-Dub comes back, the Thunder are going to need this version of Chet, especially against the upper echelon teams like the Houston Rockets, who are championship contenders. And I was blown away by his performance. Casey Wallace literally saved the game in the third quarter, wreaked havoc, 14-7, 5-4, just ridiculous. Some of the best hands I've ever seen. It's the same thing with Caruso, who had a couple of steals and a block, a huge one in Sengun late in the game. 2 threes as well. The Thunder couldn't really buy threes a lot of the night. He was consistent. AJ Mitchell, that's a name you're going to learn if you're not familiar yet. 16 points, 6 of 12 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3, especially when the Thunder don't have Jalen Williams. And even when he comes back, one thing the Thunder needed last season, even in the finals, was another ball handler to create opportunities for himself and others. AJ is that guy. He had a huge 4-point play right at the end of the half to go ahead and bring the Thunder down from, I think it was 10-6. If he doesn't make that shot, the Thunder do not win this basketball game. Jay Will for stepping up after Chet and Hartenstein fouled out. Ihart for battling on the boards all game. Lou, amazing defense on Kevin Durant and kind of shut the ball away from him despite, shooting terribly. He was 0 of 8 from 3, 2 of 12 from the field. The defense is always going to be there with Lou Dort. It was a team effort. It was an incredible battle back after a really rough start, after a great scheme from Ime Udoka. And ultimately, I do think their big lineup kind of cooked. I was not a fan of it, but they dominated on the glass. They were doing a really good job of getting Sengun the ball on those mismatches. Of course, those putbacks, it was kind of working. It didn't always look pretty. There was definitely still some clunkiness, but I think also part of that was you're just playing the best defense in the league, one of the best defenses ever. And that was kind of my worry with Houston coming into this game is who's going to handle the ball, who's going to prevent those turnovers, because ultimately they turned it over 22 times. You're not really going to ever beat the Thunder turning it over that much. They won the rebounding battle and 3-point battle and still lost this game because of those turnovers. Reed Shepherd, I thought there were some fine moments, but defensively he was getting fried. The Thunder were just going at him left and right. Whoever Reed Shepherd was guarding when he was in the game, that person, it was their turn to go ahead and try and score. And if they didn't score the ball on Reed Shepherd, they were probably forcing a rotation over and finding someone else. And even if the 3 was missed, constantly good shots were being generated. And I like Reed Shepherd. I want to see him succeed, but that's part of the issue, part of the reason you miss Fred VanVleet, because he can compete on that end. And he's an experienced ball handler, floor general late in this game, especially because Kevin Durant took 2 shots, it felt like, in the fourth quarter and overtime. I think part of that was because they just don't have a ball handler to get him the ball, to dribble to the spot to set him up. And when KD's getting doubled, there's no one for him to kick to then create another opportunity. Amen is an amazing downhill force, and he was so good tonight. 18, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, just under 50% shooting. He went 0 of 7 from 3, and that is going to continue to be a problem because they don't have the 3-point volume. The Thunder can just leave him open, and part of the reason that's a problem with Amen is because then he gets that downhill runway and he can just finish at the rim. But it's harder when you have this big lineup that's gunking up the paint. You don't have the lanes for him to go down when a team just leaves him wide open. So he's got to be able to make threes. If he can't, and they're going to continue to play this big lineup, I think it's going to be an issue. Now, they'll still win a plenty of games because they're not playing the Thunder defense every night, but this is the issue and why I think the Fred VanVleet injury is a bigger deal than people realize. There's a reason I'm like, hey, is this team still a championship contender when they lose Fred VanVleet? I know that sounds insane, but I think that type of guy is exactly what Houston was missing in this game. And if Reed Shepherd can't be more consistent, Amen doesn't have that 3 ball, the handle doesn't tighten up, they're going to run into some big time problems. Now, it will help if Sengun is hitting 5 threes, which is a quarter of his season total from last year. He turned into literally Karl Anthony Towns from the outside. I'm so high on Alperen Sengun. The fact that they have Amen Thompson and Alperen Sengun to build around makes me feel alone very, very bullish on the Houston Rockets. And I think Kevin Durant is going to continue to be great. He missed a free throw that ultimately hurt them a lot. He called a timeout, by the way. Can we talk about the timeout that he called that they didn't end up saying that he did call? When they didn't have a timeout, should have been a technical foul, and the Thunder should have won anyways with that free throw. It doesn't matter. The Thunder won, so I'm not mad about it. But it's insane that happened. It felt very like that one play against the Warriors. Okay, not as egregious as that one where he stepped out of bounds 15 times and they didn't call that. But still, yeah, that was crazy. Anyways, fantastic game. Really physical, really back and forth. Showed the resilience of the Thunder, a team that can again win mid-60s up to 70 games, I believe. Even if J-Dub takes some time to come back, they'll just really, really need him when it comes to these high upper echelon matchups against the Rockets and whenever the Thunder play Denver or the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Knicks, those types of teams, the Clippers, the Wolves. But yeah, hopefully J-Dub was able to come back soon. But in the meantime, just crazy dominant MVP performance from Shai, all NBA level play from Chet, who I think people just really don't realize how good he is. That aggression is going to go a long way. And for the Rockets, yeah, there are some issues to be ironed out, but I don't think this is a doom and gloom game for Houston. Also, Amen tweaked, I think it was his ankle or his calf. I don't remember what it was, but he tweaked something during the game as well. So he sat out for, kind of the, I think, whole second overtime or around that. So that also hurt them quite a bit there. Let's talk about the Lakers versus Warriors game. Also, real quick, last thing, sorry. Ring ceremony was awesome, and I heard NBA on NBC did a fantastic job. everything that I've seen, because I watched the second half of this game on Peacock, so I noticed the production was great in Lakers versus Warriors. Like, I'm very excited and very encouraged by the things that everybody's been saying, because a lot of people like to do the whole doom and gloom thing when it comes to presentation. But no, it sounds like the presentation was awesome. Very happy about that. It seems like NBA and NBC knows what to do. They were being positive. They were talking about like the greatness of the players, not focusing on these, outlandish narratives and trying to tear down the talent, but build it up. That's exactly what we should be trying to do as media surrounding this sport. But yeah, Lakers Warriors is kind of what I expected. Kind of what I expect with the Lakers a lot of this season, especially until LeBron comes back. Luka Doncic went berserk. He ended up finishing with 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block on 63% shooting. And that's with him going 2 of 10 from 3. Just abuse the lack of size that the Warriors, present in their starting lineup, because they did start Jonathan Kuminga and Draymond Green at the 5, which actually, Kuminga looked amazing today. I'll talk about him later. But yeah, Luka punished them pretty much anytime he got a switch, even if it wasn't a switch. It didn't matter who was in front of Luka. He was making them pay. Austin Reeves, 26 points, 9 assists, 2 steals, did have 5 turnovers, but shot really well, 9 of 16, 1 of 5 from 3. The threes were an issue for Los Angeles, 25% tonight. But I felt like those two were good, and Luka especially. The issue is just not a lot of help outside. 8 and 10 points, 6 rebounds, 4 turnovers, not fantastic. Marcus Smart really struggled. Gabe Vincent, not a lot that you really want to see from him after he went off in the preseason. Jared Vanderbilt's offensive game is still non-existent. Rui was not playing defense, not that many Lakers were. I think the Lakers this season, like I've been saying all summer, it's going to be, hey, until LeBron comes back, Luka put up this absurd stat line, carry us to victory. Austin Reeves is going to help a little bit. And if you can get a couple of role players to go off, then sure, you can win a couple of games. But against the elite competition, they just don't have a lot defensively. The whole recipe to win is when you have Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, you're just going to blitz opposing teams offensively. You're going to win a bunch of shootouts. They're going to win a bunch of games like 125 to 120. You can't do that without LeBron. They just can't put up the points. When Luka rests, it's a disaster. And Luka didn't rest much in this game. He's playing playoff minutes. He played 41 minutes in the first game of the season. And he did look really good. Like, he looks skinnier, looks quicker. He looks like one of the best versions of Luka we've ever seen, which is saying a lot for Luka Doncic. But it's not going to matter if he doesn't have the help, if he doesn't get consistent play from the role players until LeBron comes back. I think this is what a lot of Lakers games are going to look like. And it's frustrating. Even as a non-Lakers fan, I'm frustrated. I'm like, can someone help Luka Doncic outside of Austin Reeves sometimes? That's just kind of, I think, the way it's going to go a lot of this season. Like, they didn't get blown out. It was 119 to 109, and they made a run late. But like, I just think this is going to continue to be an issue. For the Warriors, Jimmy Butler was awesome. 31 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 16 free throws. I don't know why nobody talks about, if we want to talk free throws, the fact that Jimmy Butler is like the kind of real free throw guy in the NBA, but he draws contact extremely well, was great defensively. Steph Curry had 23 points, 4 assists, 3 steals, hit the dagger 3, typical Steph Curry stuff. Buddy Hield was unconscious, hit 5 threes. Kuminga did everything you want to see. If you're a Warriors fan and you want Kuminga to be your long-term, you believe in the potential, if he's going to be in the starting lineup, this is what he has to do. 17, 9, 6 assists and a steal, 4 of 6 from 3. Is Kuminga going to shoot 4 or 6 from 3 every night? No, you are insane if you think that. But if he can be somewhat competent from 3 and be that good connective playmaker, solid defender, a rebounder, like do a little bit of everything, that is all that they need. That makes him fit in with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, and suddenly maybe he has a future here, or at the very least builds up a bunch of trade value and then gets dealt for a real difference maker when you get to the trade deadline. So I would be so encouraged by Kuminga, what he did tonight. It is, again, against a terrible defense here, but if he can continue to replicate this, like, who's the next game on their schedule? The Nuggets. Like, they're not also fantastic defensively, but they're going to be better than the Lakers. Like, it is a real challenge for them against the Nuggets. If he can replicate that and continues to put together like a decent sample size, we can maybe start to have the discussion about Kuminga being here longer term than it seems like, where it's just right now a stopgap until the trade deadline. But yeah, the Warriors, I mean, they're going to be good. It's just a matter of if they can maintain, if they don't break down, because they are a lot of older bodies, but it's a really high IQ team, a lot of great feel guys on this team as well that just play well together. The Warriors are going to be good. I think their health, the ability to stave off Father Time will kind of direct how far they can go. But I think there is a world where they end up as like a top 5-6 seed in this Western Conference if they can continue to put it together. And maybe I'm even, low on them. Maybe they go higher than that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I was very encouraged by what I saw in this game from the Warriors, unencouraged by the Lakers. yeah, those are my thoughts on opening night. I think it was incredible. Like, I feel so good that basketball is back. It feels like there was a real buzz around that game, around NBC and its great presentation. I'm super excited about this season. There was a lot of awesome content coming your way here on the channel. I promise you're not going to want to miss it. A lot of game recaps, a lot of discussion about big storylines, team-centric videos, player-centric videos. We'll be talking about trades, rumors, everything in between, everything basketball. If you're new to the channel, this is where you want to be throughout the season. So yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hype the video. I guess that's also a thing now. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Comment down below your biggest takeaway from day one of the NBA season. I want to do some overreactions to every team's first game. I think that'll probably be like a Thursday video after every team is played. Maybe that's Friday, actually. Now I think about it. Yeah, it'll be Friday after the Pacers and Nuggets play their first game because they don't play tomorrow. But like almost everybody else plays tomorrow. So there will definitely be a video coming out tomorrow. And yeah, appreciate you watching. I'll see y'all later. Everyone, say it back.